Hi friends, welcome back to Sheena's Homestead. If you're new here, I'm Sheena and this is my homestead. And today I have a really exciting announcement. Finally, we have a freeze dryer that is up and running. We are so excited. I have been waiting for this day for a really long time. Now I have done a couple test runs and my family can't get enough of the freeze-dried food that comes out of it. So far we've just tried different kinds of fruits, but the possibilities are endless, and I'm going to show you how to do that as well. So it took us a while to get our freeze dryer running because it required a different electric socket. So we had to have an electrician come and install something different. I will have Rob talk to you about all the details of that. But for now, I'm going to show you how we prepare our fruit. So I actually have 5 of these long trays and they go straight into our freeze dryer. There's a lot of things to learn about freeze drying. So I'm here for the process, for the long haul. I'll show you my mistakes, my successes, and hopefully together we can navigate this machine, which is so incredible. So for my understanding, the way that the freeze dryer works is the machine brings everything down to sub-zero temperatures, and once it gets down to that sub-zero temperature, the ice crystals that form within the fruit or whatever it is that you are freeze drying get really cold really fast, and then the whole entire machine is like a vacuum chamber. So then it goes into another process where it draws out that moisture. So at the end of the process, there is like a whole ice chunk that forms around the perimeter of the chamber on the inside. And you have to go through the process of letting that melt, defrost, and clearing out that water. It's really quite an interesting process. And when everything is all said and done, if you have freeze-dried correctly and stored your product correctly, such as Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers and things like that, you can preserve your food for up to 20-25 years, which is absolutely insane. And as you can imagine, that is a very powerful tool. So we're just getting started here. I'm so excited. The kids are absolutely loving this. In fact, we have stopped buying any kind of extra snack. My kids love tortilla chips. We always buy organic, of course, but the freeze-dried method has actually eliminated a lot of our other snacks. The kids are loving just pulling out a bag of freeze-dried apples and munching on that. I think the difference really goes like this. So when you're snacking, fruit is wonderful and it tastes great, but sometimes you want something to crunch. And you don't get a lot of that when it comes to fruit. You might with some vegetables, but still there's just there's an added level of satisfaction when you're snacking, and it's just like that dry crunch. Well, freeze drying provides that, and the taste becomes so much more saturated, I would say, because the moisture has been pulled out so quickly. You don't lose any of the nutritional value, and you most certainly don't lose any of the taste. So it's just a really cool process, and we're at the very beginning of our journey, but we are absolutely loving this product. Okay, so now kind of the boring part. We are going to cut up a lot of fruit. The basics of freeze drying are you don't want to have huge chunks on your tray. The bigger chunks that you have, the longer it will take to freeze dry. And freeze drying process is a lot longer than I had anticipated. It is very often that our fruit will stay in the freeze drying process for 24 hours or more. So we have to just kind of wait and see how long it takes, and then when it comes out, you can always add more time. So I'm learning the process of seeing when things are done, and it's different for every fruit. So today I am going to cut up oranges. We have blueberries. So far, pineapple has been my absolute favorite. It's insane the way it tastes. We're gonna do some apples. We've actually tried apples with a little sprinkle of cinnamon sugar, and wow, that is an awesome combination. So that's our process for now. I might add a couple other fruits as we go along. You know that I have blackberries growing in the garden. This is just a really great way to preserve our food in a different way. Of course, we do our canning and jarring, and I absolutely love that process, and that will not be replaced in my heart. But this is a different way of preserving, and it's an interesting way to eat your food. It's a different kind of a snack, but all the nutrition is still there. And if you can't tell, I absolutely love the process so far. So we are definitely infatuated with our freeze drying methods. So come along as we get this set up for another load of freeze dried goodies. All right, we've got a full tray of oranges. They're actually little clementines, and that's not something we've tried yet, so I'm really excited about that one. A whole pineapple fit in one of the trays. Oh, and I should mention that I have a large sized freeze dryer, so it fits 5 trays all in at one time. A little bit of overspill from the pineapple is on this tray. I'm not sure if I'm going to cut up the second one yet or if we'll save that for another run, but one of our very favorite things in the freeze dryer is blueberries. But one of the problems with fresh blueberries is if you don't break the skin of the blueberry, it takes a very long time for it to freeze dry. So my solution to this is I just take a fork and I stab them through the container, and whatever comes out just like that, I put it right on the tray, which means they have already been pierced, and it's just kind of how I go through the process. Hi friends, welcome to my basement. This is our storage area, and we thought that this would be the best place for our freeze dryer. It is nice and cold, and it is also very dry down here. So I think that we'll get a better use out of the efficiency of the machine by having it down here. So don't mind our bins and boxes and things like that, but this is where we are going to spend a lot of our freeze drying time together. So this is my Harvest Right. It has 5 trays and this really solid plexiglass door. You can see this is where I put the trays, and this is kind of the chamber that they sit in. This forms with ice when the process is all done, and then we have to let it sit and defrost. And this is the pump. So we have it set up behind us, and then it has a tube down to a bucket where the water comes out once it's defrosted. All right, so this is the screen that you get when it first turns on. We are going to press start. And here it just starts right up. And now it is cooling the vacuum chamber. We have to wait 15 minutes before we can load our trays. Okay, so now that we have our freeze dryer cooling downstairs, we have 15 more minutes before we can put our trays in. Previous to shooting, I actually harvested these peaches off of our own trees in our own orchard and put them on here and got them already frozen. So that kind of skips a step for the freeze dryer, kind of helps out just a bit. So I've got just a half a tray left to fill up, and I think that I'm going to put some of these strawberries on. All right, our chamber is now cooled and we are ready to put our trays in. Okay friends, well, we have a load in the freeze dryer and we are just gonna sit back and wait for that to be finished. My guess is it'll be around 35 to 40 hours before it is all said and done and ready to take out. So we're gonna do a part 2, and in that part 2 you will see us unloading our freeze dryer, bringing everything upstairs, packaging it, and letting the kids taste test some of the goodies. So please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget about that bell, because next time I am going to show you what it tastes like and what the final product is. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great weekend ahead, and I can't wait to see you back here on Sheena's Homestead for part 2.